How are you, my dear students? Hope you are fine and everything is going okay and that you have learned everything in lecture 6 and you solved the assignment and you have submitted on the e-learning. In this lecture, we are going to discuss two things. The first thing is an example like we had took last lecture, but we are going to make it in more details. And the second thing that we are going to have an example about the ratios, more complicated one. ازيكم يا ولاد عاملين ايه؟ يا رب تكونوا بخير. احنا النهارده هنعمل اكزامبل زي بتاعت الاسبوع اللي فات او الليكتشر اللي فاتت، بس فيها ديتيلز اكتر وفيها حاجات اكتر، وهنعمل كمان مسألة عن الريشيوز detailed اكتر وفيها شغل اكتر. خلينا نشوف. Let's see in this example what are we going to do. In this example, we are having some givens, which are operating income with 5 million, depreciation expense 1 million, interest expense 1 million, taxes 40%, current assets, and he wants us to answer all these questions to get the net income, net cash flow, net operating profit after taxes, operating cash flow, net operating working capital. And he's saying if the operating capital at the end of the previous year was 24 million, what was the company's free cash flow for the year? And he's asking also if the firm had 4.5 million in returned earnings at the beginning of the year and paid out a total dividend of 1.2 million, what were their returned earnings at the ending of the year? The problem and finding all the requirements. The first requirement was what was the company's net income. So the company's net income, we are going to bring it with the equation saying earning before interest and tax. Here is it. We are going to deduct interest from it. Then we are going to get interest earning before tax. We are going to get the tax 40% from this number. Then we are going to deduct this number from this number to get net income. هنبدأ بقى نطلع كل الحاجات اللي هو كان عايزها. فأول حاجة عندنا كانت what was the company's net income. هنطلعها ازاي؟ هنقول earning before interest and tax. طبعا ده given، هشيل منه الانترست الجيفن برضو، هيطلع لي earning before tax. هحسب التاكس 40% في ال4 مليون، وهشيل التاكسز من earning before tax يطلع لي النت income. نمبر B كان بيقول what was its net cash flow. عايز النت كاش فلو. طيب النت كاش فلو عبارة عن ايه؟ عبارة عن النت income plus the depreciation. He was asking about the net cash flow. Net cash flow, to get it we are going to say net income plus depreciation. From where we are going to get the net income? From number A plus the depreciation, and the depreciation is given. So it's going to be 2,400,000 plus 1 million equal 3,400,000. Number C, he was asking about what was its net operating profit after tax, which is the NOPAT. So the NOPAT from the previous lecture, we know it, earning before interest and tax times 1 minus tax. So we are going to multiply earning before interest and tax. Here is it, and you can bring it from the example itself, times 0.6. 0.6 is 1 minus 0.4. From where 0.4, the tax is 40%. And we are going to get 3 million. Number D, he was asking about what was its operating cash flow, OCF. Also, we got this, we took this law, أخذنا القانون دوت in the previous lecture. It's the NOPAT plus depreciation and amortization. And we are going to put the NOPAT, we already got it in C, plus the depreciation, we are going to get 4 million. Number E is asking about what was its net operating working capital, NOWC. Net operating working capital is current assets minus non-interest bearing current assets. we are having this number in the example. So we are going only to subtract non-interest bearing current liabilities minus current assets. We are going to get 10 million. I think it's very easy. بتهيألي هي سهلة، نحفظ القوانين ونطبق على طول. Is saying if operating capital at the end of the previous year was 24 million, what was the company's free cash flow for the year؟ هو بيقول لي هنا ان لو عرف يعني ان الاندنج بتاع السنه اللي فاتت في الاوبريتنج كابيتال 24 مليون، ايه هو الفري كاش فلو بتاع السنه دي؟ طبعا احنا عارفين ان the ending of the previous year is the beginning for this year. First of all, I'm going to get the operating capital. How؟ اللي هو النت operating working capital plus النت fixed assets 25 million. And we are going to get the change in operating capital. We are going to subtract the operating capital for this year from the previous year. هنطلع ال change in operating capital ان احنا نخصم الرقم اللي احنا طلعناه بتاع السنة دي، ال operating capital بتاع السنة دي ناقص ال 24 بتوع السنة اللي فاتت، هيطلع لنا ايه؟ 1 مليون. قال لنا هنا ايه بقى؟ note that the investment in operating capital must include depreciation, so the investment is calculated as follows. Investment in operating capital equals 1 million is the depreciation plus 1 million which is the change in operating capital. هو هنا قال لنا ايه؟ قال لنا خلوا بالكم ان الانفستمنت in operating capital لازم يبقى فيها depreciation، فبعد ما هطلع الفرق هزود الديبريشيشن على الفرق دوت، فقلت الانفستمنت ان اوبريتنج كابيتال بتساوي 1 مليون اللي هي طلعناه زائد الديبريشيشن اللي هي في المسألة عندنا ب 1 مليون equal 2 مليون. يبقى الفري كاش فلو equals operating cash flow minus investment in operating cash flow. operating cash flow ب 4 مليون والانفستمنت in operating capital بتساوي 2 مليون، يبقى 4 minus 2 equal 2. وطبعا ال operating cash flow احنا كنا مطلعينها من قبل كده. طيب number 9 sorry G says if the firm had 4.5 million in returned earnings at the beginning of the year and paid out a total dividend of 1.2 million, what were the returned earnings at the end of the year؟ بيقول لي لو الشركة عندها 4.5 مليون returned earnings في بداية السنة ودفعت الديفيدند بمجموع 1.2 مليون، ايه هو ال ending balance بتاع returned earnings؟ So we are going to say balance of returned earnings اللي هو at the beginning plus income net income minus common dividend يطلع لي البالانس الاندنج بتاع returned earnings. هنا 4 million and 500,000 plus 2 million 400,000 minus common dividend with 1 million 200,000. So we are going to get the balance of returned earnings, and he just told us that the net income was calculated in part 1. عايزين نطلع ال ending balance بتاع returned earnings. balance of returned earnings ال beginning زائد net income ناقص ال common dividend يطلع لي ال balance of returned earnings اللي هو ال ending. هي مسألة سهلة جدا و very direct، فيها شوية قوانين نطبقهم يطلع لنا الحل وإن شاء الله بالتوفيق. This example. We have in front of us a balance sheet and income statement. Required prepare the ratio analysis if you know that the credit sales is 60% of sales. We are going to prepare the ratio analysis using the data we have. We are going to get the liquidity ratio, the activity ratios, and the debt ratios, and the profitability ratios. عندنا هنا balance sheet و income statement مطلوب مننا ان احنا نطلع liquidity ratios و activity ratios و debt ratios و profitability ratios. برضو نفس القصة، تعويض مباشر جدا جدا على القوانين. اطلع الارقام ما فيهاش اي حاجة. اهم حاجة عندنا ان انا وانا بطلع الارقام ان انا اكتب جنبها لو ليها يونت اكتب جنبها اليونت او الريفرنس بتاعها. بمعنى ان هنا عندي تايمز، هنا عندي تايمز، هنا عندي دايز، هنشوف يعني واحنا ماشيين. بس دي اهم حاجة. الرقم لوحده ليس له اي معنى وهو لوحده. We are going to start solving this example by using very direct rules. We're going to substitute in these rules and we're going to get the answer. The most important thing that we should take care to write the unit beside the numbers. If it had units, like the turnover, it's with times, like the days inventory in days, unlike this. The number alone without its unit is useless. We have to put the unit. It's very important. Half of the mark is on the unit. First of all, we are going to start with the liquidity ratio. We have three ratios in the liquidity ratios: current ratio, quick ratio, and net working capital. Current ratio is current assets over current liabilities. We are going to add to get the summation of the current assets and the summation of the current liabilities and divide them, and we are going to get 0.5. Quick ratio is current assets minus inventory over current liabilities. Also the same way, but we are only going to deduct the inventory. Net working capital equal current assets minus current liabilities. مسألة very direct. عندنا في liquidity ratio 3 ratios: الquick ratio والcurrent ratio والnet working ratio. الcurrent ratio عبارة عن current assets على current liabilities. الquick ratio عبارة عن current assets minus الانفنتوري على current liabilities. هنجيب الأرقام دي منين؟ الassets والliabilities موجودة في البالانس شيت. Activity ratio. The activity ratio, we are having total assets turnover, fixed assets turnover, inventory turnover, days inventory, account receivable turnover, and days receivable. Okay. خلاص. عندنا شوية الحاجات دي في الactivity ratio المفروض نطلعها. I'm going to give you some examples about some of these equations. First of all, we can start with the total assets turnover. Total assets turnover equals net sales over total assets. When we see the word turnover, we have to write beside the answer times any turnover. We are speaking about fixed assets, inventory, current assets, whatever. We are speaking about turnover, we have to put times. And we are going to apply all this here for the fixed assets turnover, net sales over fixed assets, inventory turnover, cost of goods sold over inventory. Days inventory equal 365 days over inventory turnover. We just took that from two previous lectures. Account receivable turnover. The equation for the account receivable turnover is credit sales over account receivable. He told us in the example that 60% of the sales are credit. So we should find or get first the credit sales, then we can apply this rule. عندنا هنا في القانون بتاع الاكونت ريسيفبل تيرن اوفر عبارة عن الكريدت سيلز على الاكونت ريسيفبل. هو كان قال لنا في المسألة ان 60% من السيلز كريدت. يبقى انا لازم اطلع الاول كريدت سيلز علشان اقدر ان انا احسب الاكونت ريسيفبل تيرن اوفر. So we are going to multiply sales times 6 over 100 اللي هي 60%. هيطلع لي 360 دي الكريدت سيلز. Now I can apply the account receivable rule turnover. So we are going to say 360 اللي هي credit sales over 100 اللي هي account receivable equals 3.6 times. And I'm reminding you again to put the word times beside every turnover. Then we are going to get days receivable equal 365 days over the account receivable turnover. So it's going to be 1.1.3 days. I think it's very simple. We are only substituting the numbers in the rules and getting the answers. بيتهيألي الإكزامبل ما فيهاش حاجة صعبة، هي دايركت جدا. كل اللي احنا بنعمله ان احنا عمالين نعوض جوه القوانين بالارقام اللي عندنا في البالانس شيت والانكم ستيتمنت. الديبت ريشيو. debit ratio is having three ratios. The first one, debit to total assets, debit equity ratio, time interest earned. From where the rule for debit to total assets is total debit total asset over total assets. From where did we get the total debit? Total debit is the summation for the current liabilities plus fixed liabilities. We are going to find in the balance sheet 900 current liabilities and loan 200. So the total for both are 1100. جبنا منين التوتال ديت دوت؟ جبناه من مجموع current liabilities مع fixed liabilities. عندنا current liabilities ب 900 fixed liabilities ب 200، مجموعهم 1100. And we are going also to apply the rules. Total debt on owner's equity, earnings before interest and tax. We are going to bring this number from the income statement and this number also from the income statement. About the profitability ratios, we are having return on assets, return on equity, gross profit margin, net profit margin. Also, we are going to substitute directly in the rules to get the answer. هنا برضو تعويض مباشر جدا في القوانين، وكل الأرقام اللي موجودة في القوانين أو اللي مطلوبة في القوانين هنا موجودة على طول عندنا في المسألة، يعني لا هنجمع حاجة ولا هنعمل أي حاجة.